All right, it's Wednesday. We're here at Oakman High School, Oakman, Alabama, and it's another edition of Go Wildcats with head coach Ryan Hall. All right, Coach, so we've talked about who you are. Now we're diving into how that looks more on a day-to-day basis for them as they play, with the idea that it's also how we should be living. Let's talk now about this idea of celebrating what no one else cares about.
And that's kind of how we term it, and maybe that's a bad term. It's really just celebrate common things, like things that you have to do every day in whatever you do to be successful, being on time, being presentable, understanding how to communicate, body language, all those things that kind of sometimes go overlooked, especially when you get in an athletic environment. We got to worry about getting stronger in the weight room. Well, if the foundational things are not right, you know, being on time, being where you're supposed to be, as we talked about, baggage free, you can't out-train bad character. I always say that. You can out-talent it, and people do, and I'm not going to sit here and act like they don't, but you can't out-train low character. And so when we talk about celebrate what no one else cares about, it's really just common things. We want to celebrate being on time. Guys are on time. That's a big deal to us. When you're on time every day, we're going to make a big deal out of it. When your effort's great, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you're doing where you're supposed to be in the classroom, we want to celebrate all those things just like we do a touchdown. Because at the end of the day, both of those things are valuable. The touchdown's valuable in the sense of trying to win a game, but developing that habit of being where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing all the time, that's going to win in life. And you know, I kind of hit this point a lot with the kids. Like, playing cover two is not going to help you with your marriage. Learning how to tackle an angle tackle, that's not going to help you when you lose your job. What you're going to need are these uncommon things, these common things that we touch on every single day. They need to be great in your life. That's how you overcome that, and that's how you cover it. So we want to celebrate those things. Maybe you should call it the small things, but there's a quote, and I actually saw this in Clemson's weight room. That's where I saw this at. I was up there a couple of years ago, and it said, do the common things in an uncommon way, and you'll garner the applaud of many. And I don't know who said it or where it came from, but I always thought about that. You know, doing the common things on a consistent basis will create the things that you want. And so we want to really push that with our kids, and like I said, you know, celebrate the ones that do that, and create a football program that rewards the ones that do that. So that's kind of our philosophy on that. And again, it fits in there with what we want to do is overachieve. We want to outperform what our ability is or what people expect of us. In order to do that, you gotta live above the standard. You gotta do all those things right. You gotta be baggage free, and you gotta celebrate these things. They gotta be important to you. You gotta value them. You gotta make them important to you. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
All right, that's great. Thank you again for watching. Keep watching, as we'll have another player spotlight. And on the other side of this, we'll dive into the offense for this season. All right, for today's player spotlight, we're here with junior Kaysen Dickerson, number 4, plays running back and linebacker. Kaysen, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Glad to be here.
All right, let's talk about this idea of celebrating the things that other people rarely celebrate, doing the common things in an uncommon way. What does that principle generally mean to you and to the team?
You know, it's a really big thing to the team. We really love when our guys do good in the classroom and have good grades, and it really means a lot to the coaches and us as players. So typically whenever we have good grades, we do pretty good on the field as well.
Awesome. That's a great thing to hear you say. Let's talk about a specific moment when you've seen that spirit kind of come to the surface. Is there anything that stands out for you?
This past off-season, we did a service project for the school where we went and cleaned the gym, and we worked on the field and the locker rooms, made sure everything was looking clean and nice for this football season.
Awesome. That's very good. Glad to hear that. And we were talking earlier, you mentioned a little bit of a quirky food, beverage kind of preference you have. Tell us quickly about that.
Yes, sir. I like to mix Sunkist, orange Sunkist, with ginger ale. And how it started was when I was little, my granddad told me it tasted like cotton candy. So, as a kid, I wanted to try it. And it turns out it doesn't taste like cotton candy, but it still tastes really good, so I tend to drink that a good bit.
Awesome. Very good. Sunkist, orange Sunkist, and ginger ale together. Very cool. Just half and half?
Yes, sir. Just mix them together.
All right. We'll have to give that a try. Thank you, Case, for joining us. Anything you want to add?
Go Wildcats.
All right, so we're here to talk offense today. We're with new offensive coordinator, Jace Trotter. Welcome back to Oakman,
That's
Jace.
Right. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Trotter name, it's a certainly familiar name here in Oakman, so we're excited to have you back here and on staff. Let's talk about this concept first, about doing the hard things that really should be easy things.
That's right.
The common things in an uncommon way. What does that value represent, and how do you see that especially come to life in this program?
Yeah. Well, looking back on my years here and leading forward, I will say some things have changed. And it's one of those things that it's you start having to implement the yes sirs, the no sirs, the yes man. And, they do a great job with that here, doing things like asking kids one time to do something and they do it. And that goes a long way with this coaching staff. They have implemented that inside these kids, and it's coming around again and being able to see this place like it was is a fantastic thing. Being able to just say, hey kids, we need to get these cones up. They get them up, water, get them up. I mean, there's no huffing, there's no whining about things. It is great to see these things like that start happening, doing the right things through life. That is a big implementation here, and I love it, especially biblically.
Sure.
And that relating right back to life, and these kids are taking it and running with it.
Great.
And it has been a big time change and a positive thing for me to see coming back home and that already being implemented.
That's great. Thankful to hear that. Let's now kind of focus our sights on offense a little bit. Let's just, if you will, give us your perspective, former quarterback here at Oakman, and have some experience with coaching quarterbacks and offense, but also highlights of the players we should look for on the field this fall.
Yeah, sure. When I was here, we was more of spread. Where I recently came from, we was more spread, kind of tightened it in a little bit, and now I'm come here and we're a single wing team. And it's been great for me to learn this. I've been so used to being spread, throw the ball around, outside runs, inside zone type stuff. And now you're, hard-nosed, gritty type kids. We're running the ball right at your face, stop us if you can type stuff. And it's been good for me to learn that stuff situationally and offensively.
Yeah, great.
You got offensive leaders. Trace Cagle will be our quarterback. He's a hard-nosed, gritty type guy. And that's the type of quarterback you got to have in this. Spread stuff. You can kind of have a guy binksing around a little bit, not really looking to get hit. But this type of offense, you got to have a quarterback that'll go block the Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
And that is, I like seeing that. I do.
Yeah.
You got Tyler Thomas, who is a young kid. Trace is young too, but Tyler is young, but he is really mature for his age. And you can't go without thinking, just coming from a quarterback, you can't go without thinking the offensive line. There's some big guys up there. They're nasty, gritty guys. They get after it, and they're going to try to put you on your butt every single play. It is good. I love seeing it. These drills and stuff up here, they get nasty with each other. It is a great thing to see.
Awesome. Well, very, very good. We're glad to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Anything else you want to tell everybody at home?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to be back home. It's great to be back, and go Wildcats.